Okay, let's get into this. We've got some really interesting material today. It's excerpts from a piece called The Stairwell That Wasn't There. Comes from Shiver Stream Stories.
Right, a collection known for some pretty unsettling tales.
And this one definitely fits. We're doing a deep dive into the reported experience of a night shift janitor, Marissa Blair.
Yeah, and this seemingly impossible discovery she supposedly made inside a totally normal office building.
Exactly. So the setting is Cincinnati, December 2016. It's this 6th-floor office complex.
And Marissa Blair, the source describes her as, 43? Single mom, working the night shift as a janitor, doing her rounds.
Pretty standard stuff, right? Trash, restrooms, floors. The usual routine she'd done for almost 2 years.
Until this one night.
Right. And the core mystery here, the thing that just jumps out from the source, is this stairwell.
And a floor 7.
Yeah, a 7th floor appearing in a building where, according to the blueprints mentioned in the story, there are only 6 floors. It just shouldn't be there.
So our plan is to really unpack the details from the source, what she reportedly saw, the weird things that happened, and the sort of evidence presented.
Let's dig into that moment of discovery. The story says it's around 2:13 a.m. Marissa's on the 5th floor.
Finishing up her work near Suite 514, I think it was.
Yep, near 514. And she spots this sign, a sign she's absolutely certain she has never, ever seen before in that specific spot.
And the sign itself, the piece quotes it directly, stairwell access maintenance only.
Which is immediately strange, isn't it?
Extremely, because like you said, the blueprints she knew, the ones the source references, they clearly show the building stops at floor 6.
So a sign implying access beyond that, that's the first major red flag, the first impossibility.
Okay, so she finds this impossible sign, this door. What does she do? She pushes it open, right?
She does. And what's described inside is, well, not inviting. It's an old concrete stairwell. Dusty. Seems like it hasn't been used in ages.
But it wasn't just how it looked. The source mentions the feel of the place.
Ah, yes. The atmosphere. It felt warmer in there, warmer than the rest of the building, which would have been climate controlled.
And the smell. The story describes it as damp metal and burnt paper. Just off.
Yeah.
Unsettling. Sets it apart immediately.
Definitely not your standard office stairwell smell. So she starts climbing.
Up this unexpected staircase. The account is specific 23 steps up to a landing.
And what's on the landing? Another door.
Yep. And this one had a sign, too, leaving no doubt where it supposedly led.
What did it say?
Floor 7, authorized entry only.
Wow. Okay, so now she's standing right in front of a door to this impossible floor.
Naturally, she wants proof, right? You'd want to document this.
Totally. This story says she pulls out her phone, tries to snap a picture of this floor 7 door.
And this is where it gets even weirder. The photo attempt, it doesn't work how you'd expect.
How so?
She checks her phone gallery, and the picture isn't there. But it's not like corrupted file symbol or anything. The source says it was just black. A blank space where the photo should be.
Like the place itself just refused to be photographed.
Exactly, as if it couldn't be captured. And right after that failed photo,
Things escalate.
big time. The lights in the stairwell, they start flickering like crazy, then just out. Plunges her into darkness.
Jeez. But even in the dark, she tries the floor 7 door.
She does, and it opens.
So she steps through. What does she find on the other side?
She enters this hallway, but it's not like the other floors. The lights are flickering fluorescence here, too. Offices line the hall, but they don't have any nameplates, just blank doors.
Any sense of life?
Old-style phones on the walls, the kind you don't see much anymore. And she hears this faint sound, like a printer running somewhere far off. But no people. Empty.
And her phone?
Dead signal. As soon as she stepped onto floor 7, apparently. Lost all connection.
So she's completely cut off in this impossible, flickering, empty place. How long was she in there?
The source suggests it wasn't long, maybe wandering that hall for just a couple of minutes.
And during that short time?
She heard something. A voice. Faint, kind of echoing.
Oh man, what did it say?
The quote in the story is chillingly simple. You don't belong here.
Okay, nope, time to leave. Where did the voice seem to come from?
The account mentions it seemed to originate from behind a frosted glass door, and this door was labeled Records and Forms.
Records and forms. Okay, so she hears the voice, panics.
Understandably, she turns right around, heads back to the door she just came through, her escape route.
Let me guess.
It wasn't there anymore.
Gone.
Just gone. Where the door had been moments before, now there was just smooth, blank wall.
Well, that's terrifying. The exit just vanished.
Classic trope in these kinds of stories, right? Traps you completely. And her fear really ramps up then.
I bet.
The story reports this really creepy detail. Her own footsteps suddenly started sounding wrong, too loud, echoing too fast.
Like someone else was there.
Worse, it felt like someone was walking exactly one step behind her, mimicking her pace perfectly. That kind of psychological terror.
Ugh. And the lights. You said they were flickering?
They started flickering even faster as she panicked and tried to get away. Then, one by one, they didn't just go out, they burst. Popping, glass breaking, plunging the hallway into total darkness.
Bursting? That sounds violent. Aggressive.
Right. It suggests this wasn't just a weird space, but maybe a hostile one.
So she's in total darkness, exit gone, footsteps behind her.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next? How does she get out?
Well, the next thing the story tells us is her being found, hours later. But not on floor 7.
Where?
Back on the actual 5th floor.
Yeah.
In the normal hallway, unconscious. Found by the morning crew.
So she somehow got back. Or was she ever really on floor 7?
Mm-hmm.
But what about her condition?
That's where it gets stranger still. Her phone battery was totally dead. Okay, maybe that could happen. But her shoes,
What about them?
they were soaked, inside a dry, climate-controlled office building.
No way. How?
No explanation given. And her fingernails were broken, like she'd been scratching or clawing at something desperately.
Okay, that's physical evidence suggesting something intense happened.
Yeah.
But the creepiest detail.
The Sharpie.
Yeah. There was a message written on her arm in Sharpie marker.
And the source quotes it verbatim, "Don't look for the stairs."
Chilling. Just chilling. Written on her own arm.
So naturally, when she recovers, she tries to show her boss, right, look, this is where the stairwell was.
And of course,
It's gone. No sign, no door, just the normal, boring white wall that had presumably always been there.
at this point, you could maybe write it off. Extreme stress, hallucination, fugue state.
Maybe. Except the story then presents what it calls the most compelling piece of evidence.
Which it comes from.
The building security cameras from that night.
Okay, what did they show?
Well, most of the footage was normal. Just Marissa doing her rounds, floor by floor, exactly as expected. Routine.
There's a but, isn't there?
There is. Within the security system feeds they reviewed, there was this anomaly. One camera feed labeled Level 7 West Hall.
Level 7. But there is no level 7.
Exactly. The source is very clear on this. According to the building's security setup, its wiring, its schematics, no such camera exists. It shouldn't be part of the system. A ghost feed.
Okay, that's bizarre. What did this phantom camera record?
It recorded Marissa walking past it, just once,
Yeah.
at 2:13 a.m.
The exact time she reported finding the stairwell sign.
Precisely. It seems to timestamp her entry into this other place.
But wait, you said the evidence was unexplainable. Just seeing her walk past seems, well, strange, but maybe explainable.
But there's more to it. The really mind-bending part reported from that specific anomalous camera feed.
Go on.
Just 3 seconds after Marissa walks past the camera, someone else walks past.
Really?
Someone who looked exactly like her.
A doppelganger.
Apparently. Captured on a camera that shouldn't exist, recording a floor that shouldn't exist, moments after she entered it, followed by her exact double.
Okay, now that is deeply weird. What does that even mean?
The source doesn't say. It just presents this detail. Is it like a time loop thing? A reflection? Something else entirely? Just hangs there. This incredibly strange observation from a phantom camera.
So after all this, what happened to Marissa? Did she keep working there?
No way. The story says she quit just 2 days later, never went back.
Camblinger.
Reportedly, she refuses all press interviews, wants nothing to do with it. The source mentions she moved away, now lives somewhere in rural Kentucky with her daughter, works from home, trying to put it behind her.
Can she? Is it over?
Apparently not entirely. The account describes one final, recurring, completely bizarre phenomenon.
Which is?
Once a year. On December 19th, the anniversary of the incident, at exactly 2:14 a.m.
Oh no. What happens?
She receives a text message.
From who? Saying what?
It's a blank text, no message content. And according to the story, it comes from her old work phone.
Her old work phone. The one from that job.
The very same. The one she apparently never returned to the company after she quit.
But wait, wouldn't that phone be disconnected? It's been years.
That's the kicker. The source cites Verizon records that phone line was officially disconnected back in January 2017, just a month after the incident.
So how is a disconnected phone that she doesn't even have sending her a blank text message every year at the exact time of the event?
It defies explanation, right? It's technologically impossible by our current understanding. It just adds another layer of the inexplicable onto the whole thing.
Okay, let's recap the really weird elements reported here. We have the stairwell and floor that shouldn't exist according to blueprints.
Right. The door vanishing behind her, trapping her.
The strange atmosphere inside, the warmth, the smell, the flickering bursting lights, that voice.
Then the physical aftermath. Soaked shoes, breaking nails, that Sharpie message, don't look for the stairs.
And the security footage. The phantom camera feed, level 7, that shouldn't exist.
Capturing her entry at 2:13 a.m. and then the doppelganger, 3 seconds later.
And finally, this impossible annual blank text message from a long disconnected phone.
Yeah, taken together, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It really pushes back against any simple explanation, like just a dream or a breakdown.
It does. It makes you grapple with some big questions if you take the report seriously.
Yeah.
Like, what was that space? Did time work differently there? What was the double?
And how on earth could that text message be sent? Is it some kind of echo? A residual energy tied to the event? The source offers no answers, just the unsettling account.
It definitely makes you think about those little glitches in reality, doesn't it? Those moments where something feels out of place in a familiar environment. What would you, listening right now, do if you found a door where one shouldn't be?
Would you open it? And the story leaves us with this really final, chilling thought to ponder.
Which is?
It suggests that if you do find that impossible stairwell, that door that doesn't belong, and you step through, maybe the most important question isn't the obvious one. How do I get out?
What is it then?
As the source puts it, perhaps the real question you should be asking is, how long have I been here already?
Please subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to create even more great content for you. Thank you so much.